Hey y'all, how you doing? It is Monday evening, which means it's the best time of the week because we're gonna do a draft. Let's just jump right in and start with a ranked one and see how high we can climb today. All right. Um, one of these times on stream, I'd like to open a really cool, awesome mythic pack one. This is not it. You can have fun and kind of build around that one, but meh. These two kind of go together. In terms of best cards in a red X Knight deck, this is a ton of fun. This is also pretty good in a uh, any kind of red deck in this format, really. I do tend to prefer um, the blue black or blue red decks in this format. I think they're just more fun and interactive. Um, at worst, this is a 2/2 flyer for 3, which isn't terrible, but let's start here and just see. Leave our options open. All right, so she is a knight. So if we want to keep down that same path, we have this option. Um, so pretty good, although completely the wrong colors. Then we also have Ryu Soul. Um, while I don't mind pushing the knight tribal, I also not sure we're there, so I'm just gonna take the removal spell. All right, maybe we're Knight Tribal. So we have a couple decent knights. This guy I've been really impressed with. Uh, this one is a win condition in that blue-red draw cards. And this guy can come out of nowhere and tap some stuff down, although we're not in white. And then if we just want to keep simple, we can play this. So I think it's between these three. Um, I don't like playing this card in a red-black knight deck. However, in black-white knights, it's fine, and we're not sold to red. Um, I think this card has a higher upside than this one, so we're going to go there and see what happens. All right. So completely the opposite direction with green-white adventure, although I've seen this guy go pretty late in drafts lately. Um, if we're playing knights, this is good, but again, as I said a few times, you get too many 5-drops in this format, so you need to be careful. If we're playing red, an aggressive deck, this is a fine card, but we're not sure we're there yet. I don't know. This is kind of a tough one. We could also just take the golden egg to be safe, to hedge any bets, give us some flexibility. Um, I'm not super impressed to be taking any of these cards this point. Let's assume we're probably. I don't know. This one's tough. I'll take the egg just to be safe because I'm not sure what I'm doing. And we're not seeing any strong signals. If anything, green. But again, we're in white, black, red. It's a decent green card. Um, well, because we don't know where we're at, we'll just take this and see what happens. All right, so back onto the knight path. Forever Young is good. Youthful Knight is good. I'm gonna take Swordmaster though. Ah, that seems good for the possible options we're going. If we're gonna force or look at, not necessarily force, play knights, this is a completely reasonable card. This guy makes knights. Let's. I tend to see these go around a lot, so let's take a unicorn. Okay, so we've got another knight here. Take him. Kind of just round out the pack a bit. I'm still not 100% sure which colors we're going. Like, I consider this card higher than third to last pick, but Um, we'll just kind of... Okay, so I think we want to play white. um, let's pull this aside. We're probably not there. We are definitely not sold in red, being the only 2 cards. Not even super happy with that one. In terms of white, I'm not super sold in that either. However, we opened the Giant, which is that nice mythic I talked about opening pack 1. There's a chance we'll get a knight coming back, so let's just take that. It's a great card. And see what happens. So we have 2 cards that are kind of the same. We have Reeve Soul and Glass Casket. This looks at the converted mana cost. This looks at the power. Usually, especially in ranked, you don't find people often, although sometimes, playing artifact removal. So this is, in some ways, a little bit better. This stops people getting things back. We already have 1 Reeve Soul, so I'm going to diversify and take it. Alright. So we have another Reeve Soul, which is obviously good. But this guy, especially with like the Youthful Knight, is pretty fun. So we're going to try that and just assume we're not playing red. 2 cards here to talk about. We already have 1, and this is just a great removal spell, so I think it's pretty straightforward. Not a knight, but the Guide Mother can help fly over. And while it's best in a green-white or white adventure deck, it's not too bad here. So this is a tough one. We've got 3 decent cards. The Swordmaster, the Shepherd of the Flock is great for bouncing things that have been, tapped down, or being targeted with removal, or cards that have adventures on them allow you to play them twice. So this is actually a decent card to have, at least as a one of, even in a black-white knight deck. And then another Reeve Soul. Right now we have... We're not going to play that card. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half knights. So I'm actually going to grab the Shepherd because it's an uncommon. And we aren't hardcore knights right now, although that is really good. Could take another Unicorn. A Forever Young wouldn't be bad, in case something gets taken away and we want to get back. So let's take 1. I like having at least 1 in a deck. I don't think we need 2 golden eggs, but I don't think we're playing any of the other cards here. Nobody's playing Reeve Soul, so the question is, do I take a second one or diversify with a Silver Flame Ritual? I think I'm just going to take the removal. We're going to be kind of low to the ground. There's a knight for us. If we need a card to bring in. Got a couple options here to talk about, but I'm not going to put them in the main deck because I don't really want to play them. Okay. Another good card. He is not a knight, but still really good. Okay, I think it's pretty easy. At first I was like, we could get super greedy and play this one, but we're just going to bake something into a pie. Oh, and... Okay, so this is removal.deck. We're just going to go with that. Okay, so a couple cards to look at. I think the choice is probably Lost Legion, although we do have a Shining Armor. We're a bit short on creatures and on 3-drops, so the Legion actually fits that really well. We have 2 5-drops, 2 4-drops. But the Witches get back a lot of our cards, so we're going to throw that in there and see if we end up actually playing it. If this guy was a knight, this would be an easy pick, but it's not. Again, we have the Shining Armor, but I think we just want another Lost Legion. Not sure we're going to play this guy, but we'll take it. There's my Fox. I love him. Probably not playing the Golden Egg. We'll have to look at that. So the Fox may not be the best in this deck. The best option just may be another removal spell, even though it's a 5-drop. We have quite a few 2-drop creatures and removal. And how many things trigger this guy? So we've got 1, maybe 2, 3. So he's not going to fly as often. We don't have a Trapped in the Tower, which I really wish we had. So I'm just going to take the removal spell. Eye Collector is not super great for this deck, but we'll take it. Thin it out, probably. I'll take the so tiny. Hate drafting doesn't really matter because these are just bots, but... Alright, so I'm not sure how this deck ended up. So we need to cut some stuff, obviously, right away. I'm pretty sure it's mostly creatures, because all of our removal spells are pretty darn good. So we don't have any way to really pump the Ginger Brute, nor do we have, we don't have any food interactions, so that makes him less good. And he's also not a knight, so we're going to cut that for now. I also think we're going to cut a unicorn. That gets us to 41. So Shepherd is not a knight. And now the only thing that's really key to the knight thing we're doing is the Swordmaster and the witches. We also have this witch, which I guess is the one food interaction we have. But I'm not sure we're going to end up playing it, because that gets us to 40. So cards that we're not playing, we've got the Unicorn, the Lash of Thorns. We could play the Golden Egg just to draw a card. I don't think we need it, though. I think this is going to be kind of a, like I said, removal deck. If at any point things get crazy, we can wipe the board. I was hoping he might be a giant. He looks like he could be a giant, but he's not. So yeah, we have a ton of removal. This may be the weakest removal, but with all of the other removal, the only thing that exiles is Epic Downfall. So we could just be getting rid of all their stuff, so this might be a decent late game. So yeah, I think it's just a decent deck. It's not amazing. I wish there were a couple more 3-drops. But it's solid. Has a couple win conditions in here. Let's see how it does. It was interesting. I didn't feel bad passing the majority of time the cards that we saw, so it's not like I felt we were missing out. Like I said, I really like red-blue draft in this, so I was kind of hopeful, but I didn't feel like we were missing it. I think we were where we were supposed to be. So the question is where we were supposed to be good enough to win a few drafts. Okay, solid hand. 3 spells, got 3 2-drops. The first strike guy. And all the removal. I didn't take the one adventure creature that has +2, which I kind of wish I had to make some of my guys a little bit bigger threat, which means maybe we should also think about running Lash in the main deck. Just because, like, they're playing green, you know, they play a 5/5. I'm going to have a harder time removing it. I have the exile card, but I have a bunch of ways to deal with smaller guys. So I have to keep an eye on how the deck actually runs, and maybe make some adjustments as we go. So we have a couple options here. Either way, we play the swamp first. We could adventure this, drain for 1, then Reeve Soul. We could play the Lost Legion, And then next turn, either double Reeve Soul or Smitten Reeve Soul again. I think I'd rather set the board state up a little bit better. Set my draw up next turn versus just getting in 2 points this turn. So that gives us Glass Casket and Lonesome Unicorn. So let's get rid of the Unicorn because we can't cast it currently on 5. And we'll keep the Glass Casket in case I play something else. That may not be right. We already have double Reeve Soul. But I think I just want to remove anything they play for the first few turns. Alrighty. Interesting. Okay, so to start with, they've got 2 mana up, so they can either sack this or use this. So to start with, I'm going to get rid of this so they have the choice to use it or not. I feel better about that than if I target this first, then they sack this to that. Oh. I didn't expect that. Okay. They could have Insatiable Hunger, although if they had that, I would have expected them to use it on the witch. But just in case, I'm going to Glass Casket the Ginger Brute and get it out of the way. Hey, that guy. Okay. So we still cleared the way. They get rid of our 2/3, which it's okay. Can always get it back if we want with the witches. I really wish we had a Forbidden Fruit. Alright, so mental note, they have that card. Don't run smack into it. But they are tapped out in terms of that right now, so that's less of a concern. So we're going to swing in. I'm just going to drain for 2. And see what they play next turn. If they ever keep 2 mana up, we have to play around it, which is fine. That guy's really good. Okay. They also have a food available to make it indestructible and get around Reeve Soul, which is annoying. So the problem is if we attack, they're just going to put a counter on it, block, and we don't get any value. Kind of an awkward spot. We're going to leave our own Paragon open. I'd really like to draw Plains into the Giant. That would be awesome. Okay. Not really I mean, I guess we don't have any super scary threats, so I get baking that into a pie, but... So, we're going to force them to use... Yeah, we're still gonna lose this guy, but at least we have somebody to attack with on the way back. Theoretically, I could have also done this on the other way, but we know he has the Paragon himself, uh, so it makes it less valuable. Yep. So they've got 3 cards in the graveyard, so even a Festive Funeral wouldn't work right now. Okay, so we've got that guy. There's no real reason to just run this guy in there. I think we played this one out. Once we untap, we have a never-ending blocker for the Wicked Wolf, which makes our board position a little bit better. So I'd rather just kind of hang back and see what other card he has. We can offer to trade if he'd like. Okay, never mind. We do not have a permanent blocker. Sad panda. Okay, so once again, we have a couple options. I don't mind tossing this here, but it's kind of a waste. If we double toss, we lose both. They have to use a food. They still have 4 mana open. My hope was to get the witches. Yeah, we're just kind of in trouble with this card right now. Being able to make it indestructible makes it really hard to get around with removal spells. Like I said, our best option is Festive, but they only have 3 cards in their graveyard, and I couldn't even cast if I wanted to. So it's a little awkward. But I think my hope here is... Oh, there's the 5th land. I think my hope here is either getting the giant while they don't have food on. Alright, so... Take this guy back. Being able to play this guy again and not have it removed. They now have 4 cards in the graveyard, so it's going the right way, but still it's 1 lower than we need for this guy. But if they play the Paragon or something else, we can remove it. It blocks. We just have to hope we find removal before they find another food source. It's fine. We're not going to attack right now anyways. Okay, well there's the funeral. Unfortunately, I didn't play Reeve Soul. Anything we could resoul. So theoretically, we could bait them into playing this. No, you know what? I was thinking we could attack with the witches, have them play the Paragon block, kill the witches. That gets their 5th card in there. But what's worse for me is if they don't do that and they just flash it in at the end of their turn and then attack back, because I'm not blocking with the rider, and we're taking 8 this turn. And we'll be taking 1 from this. So that's... I don't think there's an advantage there. Nope. Still not blocking. We're going to have to soon, because we're going to get too low of a life. But right now, having the ability to make this indestructible is kind of important. But from the fact that they're hovering over, it makes me think they have something. The worst case would be like baked in the pie. That would be really bad. Okay. So now we have access to 6. Which is still not enough for what I really want to do. But it does allow us to double indestructible this guy. So I think we're just going to hold back, not do anything, and be able to double indestructible him. If something goes super wonky, like if they do have baked into pie, now they're still at 4, so that would be bad. Okay, so here they're offering the Swordmaster. They're going to flash in that. I think what we do... Oh, that was a misclick. What we should have done is blocked actually this, made it indestructible, and gave it lifelink. That was a fail on my part. That is the one bad thing, arena versus real life. You don't tend to misclick and accidentally pass your blocking step in real life. Oh well. Alright, let's see what they do. Okay. So we'd actually really like a land here. So that we can cast both Festive. Okay, cool. So we're going to Reeve Soul the Lost Legion. Hopefully. And then that puts 5 cards in the graveyard without a food source. So we will kill the wolf. Now, we don't have any cards in hand, which makes me uncomfortable, especially being at 7 life. And that means I can't keep that guy indestructible. It's worse here if he has a pump spell. Oh wait, it's our graveyard. Oh my gosh. My brain is fried. So, that's fine. Oh. Nope, never mind. You can't flash in the Paragon, though. Let's do that. Oh, it's been one of those days. Now we really want to see the giant. If he has another pump spell, we're dead. That's fine. Alright, well, that was a bunch of decent rares. Didn't help that I messed up. I definitely misplayed. But it's really hard to beat 1 wolf, let alone 2. Yikes. I really wish we had a second swamp over second plains, but completely reasonable. Gonna pass. Depending on what they play, I might flash this guy in because swinging for 5 in the air on turn 3 is really good, and we can always bounce them back. Yeah, let's do that. Or we'll just draw all the guide mothers. And then play this one. We will always totally block the 2/1 with the 1/1 if offered. Hey, this looks familiar. This is a perfect Reeve Soul target. Alright, so we're still at 3. I really hoped we were going to draw another land. So I think we're going to Reeve Soul here. And then just swing in with a Guide Mother. We have a couple options depending on what they do or play. We can always bounce the Paragon back, which is what we might do here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so they're not even attacking. Okay, so now we've got 4. So let's take a second and look. I think we just want to keep beating in. And play that guy. Hey, Rogue. The draft is mediocre. I'm not super happy with everything, but it's a solid, fine deck. We'll see how it goes here after this match. The first one didn't go so well. Alright, so this guy's trapped in the tower, which is perfect for the bouncing. We've got 5 mana. Let's start with the obvious. Swing in for 2 in the air. And then we're gonna play the Legion to set up our hand a little bit better. Okay, so we've got, right now they have a single threat. We only have 5 mana though. And we have to be careful because this allows us to only cast 1 non-creature spell. But I think this is completely reasonable. Just to leave this, if they play something crazy, we'll have that available. And we're going to end our turn. Which turn? Yeah. At least this with being an instant, we can bounce this on their turn. That counts as our 1 spell during their turn. I probably actually... No, I guess that's fine. Yep. If the Reeve Soul had been there instead of the Epic Downfold, I should have put that on top, but it's not. The worst case here is they have Lash, which is fine. Let's return him to my hand. We're going to attack first because blocking is really awkward when they know that I have the Paragon. But they are anyway. I totally think it's worth flashing this guy in here. And then that allows us... We're actually going to just make a 2/2 Knight to better use our mana. We could cast this. It technically has more power, but I'd rather kind of, like I said, be more mana efficient. Okay. Well, we won that. I think they could have kept playing it out. He didn't have a significant board advantage, but I mean, anytime my opponent concedes, I'm probably not going to complain. So, cool. So it's going better now. The draft is going better. But it's just a solid deck. It's missing some 3-drops. It's a little 2 and 5-drop heavy, which is a little weird. I should actually go in and take a screenshot so we can look at it later if we need to. It's Knight-esque, the deck, but it's doesn't have any significant payoffs for being Knight Tribal. We got a little bit of synergy there. Alright, I'm not super happy with this hand. We have removal, we have that 1 bounce card, and we know we can play the Rider. It's a little bit mana heavy for me with this particular deck, but since we're going first, I'm going to try it. We'll start with that. Our only double cards are black, so at least we have 2 swamps going for us. So they're blue something. I'm not going to Reave Soul yet. I mean, the Brute is annoying, but with all the flyers and stuff they can play, that's probably more of a threat. We're not playing anything. Okay, see, this is what I was concerned. We've just drawn land, which is bad for us. This is not good. Yeah. Oh, come on. All right, so here the problem is they've got Don't Say Please mana open, and with this being the only threat in our deck, I'm really hesitant to run it out. I don't see much choice, though. We can find the witches to get it back, but we need to play something, waiting for them to play something else. I don't know if it's going to get a whole lot better. If anything, I could cast Reave. Let them maybe counter that. Yeah, let's do that. Not super happy with this line, but yeah, I'd rather that get countered than the Rider. And there's a chance that they still may have other counter magic available. I'm going to hold on to that guy. It's tempting to play him to be able to block and or swing back, but, you know, blue has Charmed Sleep, which is really annoying. And this helps us get around that. They're just not playing anything. Alright. So they still have a bunch of counter spells up. I don't think it's worth baking into a pie. I think we offer up the Rider. See what they do. We leave 1 white mana open in case they Charm Sleep it. If they do counter it and play something scarier, we'll have baked into pie to follow up. Yeah. Alright, that's depressing. Oh, and there goes the Forever Young we have to get it back too. Balls. We really need to draw something other than land. We need literally no more lands. I'm fine with all those going away. I said no more lands. So let's think about what we have here. We have the witches. We have the troll. This isn't looking great for us. Again, there's no real reason to play this, especially now with the 0-4. We can't get around anything. Depending on what they do next turn, it may be worth baking him into a pie, but we only have... I think two more removal spells left in the deck. So we need to be really careful. I mean, we're on a 15-turn clock. They're more likely to mill us out than we are to die to this ginger brute. Oh my gosh. Alright, seriously, no more lands. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 5 more lands in our deck. 5 out of 17. This is a slow and depressing death at this point. 4 lands left in the deck. All right. You could target me with that. That would be nice. All right. I think we're in definite trouble here. Yep. Okay, they want another removal spell. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 lands left in the deck. I think, have we literally drawn a baked in the pie into all lands? I think that's a true statement. Oh my gosh. Sorry, this isn't super interesting. There's not a whole lot I can do here. Guess I probably shouldn't have kept the hand. Alright, so this is more than likely being walked into a counter. Oh, wow, it survived. Sure. Okay, so I think we do that. That gets us back our indestructible guy. I'm not going to bounce him back currently. I will do that on their turn. At least they have a ton of lands too. I guess we got that going for us. They still have 1 card in hand. I don't think they've missed a land drop, so there's a tiny chance it's a land. I think it's highly unlikely, though. So let's bounce this guy to our hand. So we have 11 mana at our disposal. So 5 plus 4. That's 9. We also have, it might be better to play this. See what they do with it. They know we have it. Land on the bottom. There's the giant. Which makes me really hesitant to play any other creatures, because next turn I can destroy. Yeah, I can destroy and then play the witches. I need to clear these guys out because we're on a 9 or less turn clock. I still don't think it's worth baking into pie that guy, though. Really tempting, because gingerbread cookie would go well in a pie. Alright, so let's attack. See what they do. See, the problem is I can't... I'm hesitant because they didn't have any trick there. They just let their guy die, which means they could have a cottage another way to get it back. And this guy is better than these. 8 turns. Why aren't you a giant cat? You look like a giant cat. This is actually kind of tough. Alright, you know what? Let's do this. If this guy ends up dying, I'm not super sad about it. We'll wait one more turn. That might be wrong. Depending on what they play, we can always bake into pie. See? Okay. Oh, there went that guy. Darn it. Alright, our hope here is that they play out all those creatures. Okay. Even better. Now we definitely don't mind wiping the board. Okay, then. So they're going to have a 0-4 left. So we're just going to do this. They're tapped out. We know it's going to work. So they're going to have a 0-4. But we can bake that into a pie. I think it's still right just to get back the rider. We can play next turn. Okay, so we are not going to bake that guy into a pie. We're going to make our witches fly, which seems appropriate for the Halloween season, I think. So we have 9 mana left. They need to deal with this creature, whether it be a counterspell, which would be really bad. Because we only have 2 turns left. Yep. So we've got 10, 11 on board. It's going to be really close. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So we are going to Epic Downfall this one first. We're going to bake this guy into a pie. We have 5 mana available. Scrying does diddly squat in this case. So we just need more power on the board. And hope they don't have a... Whew, okay. If they didn't have a didn't say please there, that would be very bad. So if they have another Secret Keeper or anything, we're just dead. Because we only have a single card left in our deck. And they don't. Whew. Okay. That started off real rough for us. That single plane's left in the deck, and that was it. Alright. I did not think we were going to get there. Drawing all that land to begin with. Yeeks. So again, this is kind of awkward because we have one removal spell we can cast, one we can't cast, and two creatures we can't cast. We're going first. See, last game I drew all of the land, which makes me want to keep this hand. That is not the correct way to analyze keeping a hand, however. However, our deck is mostly 2-drops. And having at least one removal spell, I'm going to keep it. I don't know. This one's tough. I think if this had been a second swamp, it would have been a definite keep, because that's the concern with Baked into a Pie, that we can't currently cast it. And we're just going to draw swamps. But at least now we know we can cast the Rider. And definitely Reeve Soul this guy. Okay, see? Oh, we're going to draw our planes. It's going to be one of those games. And the thing is, playing the Rider, we know that they have the Cauldron, which means it's going to insta-die. But because at this point we can't... See, only planes! And so far we've only drawn land. I don't want to wait until turn 7 to cast this, to work around that. So I am going to play it, let them use the Cauldron, get it out of their board, and then we have the Witches to get it back next turn. Excuse me. We would really like to see a swamp and then no more lands. Oh, okay. At least the Witches blocks the Ogre just fine. Okay, one swamp, no more lands the rest of the game. And this gives another guy Menace. If they have a pump spell, I'd rather them use it here. That's fine. Okay. We really need a swamp. I think we can officially say my deck doesn't like me today. Okay. So the question is, do we play this or wait one more turn? So we're going to hit 6, 8. I think we actually wait. I really need this guy to be indestructible against this deck. We could really use the giant here. That would be great. It's not the giant. Okay. So, worst case scenario here, they have Trap in the Tower. That would be very bad. They could also have a removal spell so that when I block, go to make it indestructible. They can do it in response. I still think we have to do it. Or they can just tap it. That works too. Alright. So, how do we not die? By continuing to draw double black spells. That is not true. Okay. We're going to do this. I hate Magic Arena for tapping my lands that way. So our best out here is actually to give this guy lifelink. I'm not sure we still survive. But let's do this. This. A little too late here. So there's 3 in the air. There's 3 guys. I think our only out there was the giant, which we did not draw. Let's play him just cuz. Maybe they'll accidentally give us 3 life and let us draw a card. Oh, okay. Didn't matter, we're still dead. Yep. So, should not have kept that hand. I didn't think it was as bad as it turned out to be. But yeah, that was rough. Let's take a look at the deck again real quick. Let's see where we're at, what's been going on. Because if we don't win the next one, it's done. So yeah, I mean, we're running 50-50. Shouldn't be as one-sided as that was, but it happens. I think really that's what we've lost to. Has just been super bad draws. I don't think adding or subtracting anything would necessarily get us any further. All the cards have been decent. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it as is. Like I said, it's a bit wonky in the 2 and the 5s. But it's not too bad. Alright. Let's be smarter about our keeping hand decisions and not screw this up. Okay. So, we don't have double black, but we do have a removal spell and a creature we can cast. And we're on the draw. So, let's pray it doesn't go like last time. Not a great start. Because we currently don't have anything to cast, I'd rather just start beating in. We also have 2 in the deck, which means we can always draw it later if we want to make something fly. Okay. We really need another black source. We looked. They're the same amount of plains and swamps. I swear. 3 or less. So there goes the spider. That spider does a lot of work in this format. That 5 butt just stops so many things. Swamp would be perfect right now. Oh my gosh. I still think it was right to keep her hand. We've drawn nothing but plains and a baked into pie. Well, okay. Thankfully, neither of us are doing much at this point, but this is a little depressing. Okay. We are going to... Alright, so here's the concern. I almost want to just bake this guy into a pie now. The reason is, if they have out muscle in their hand, and draw a forest, they can make this a 7, then make it an 8 indestructible and kill this guy, and that would be really bad for us. So I think I'm going to bake them into a pie now. The bad thing is this weapons rack makes the little goats I give them better. That's fine. Yeah. All of the planes, man. Alright, I think we do this here. 5, Because this is only as a sorcery. I mean, there are still issues, obviously. We just attack with him. Okay. It's the first time we've actually, I think, hit in with the troll, so that's good. Okay, so this is going to be a race. And that's going to be a 7. Okay. And what's your last card? All right. I don't mind this race. So we're going to Reeves. Oh, do we want to Reeves Soul? So the question is, do you Reeves Soul here, get rid of the knight? But they're probably going to sack a goat to tap this, and I'd rather see what other card we get. Okay. We are going to offer the trade of the Swordmaster for the 2/2. It's going to gain us some life and clear the way a little bit more. That's completely fine. Because it's also not going to get in after these other cards. We're not going to play the Forever Young yet. Because if they get rid of the troll somehow, we want to be able to get it back. Alright, so there's the witches and the jousting dummy. Neither which really do much. At best, this gets back the Swordmaster. I mean, I do have a ton of mana to tap. But I think I'd rather see what else we can draw. This guy, technically better there. Like that. And see. We'd really like to see our exile card. Yep. Thankfully, we're probably drawing. Ah, perfect. Oh, even better. So we're not going to attack. This is actually kind of tempting. Let's see. So we're going to... It's really tempting to giant get the troll back into my hand. But I think I'd rather leave that for some more shenanigans. So let's, for now, get rid of that guy. Because this limits their options next turn. We know they have the 6/5. They don't have any more counters on this. And they're going to have to sacrifice the goat. So we're going to actually, yeah, bake this guy into a pie. Move to combat. They're going to have to sacrifice the goat to get the troll, and we can still swing in with the Legion. Yep. There we go. Ah, that worked out. Again, I was getting nervous. So we drew every planes in our deck. We had none left. All right. So the question then is, let's take a look. Should I build the mana slightly differently? So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we only have 8 white pips. We've got 2, 4, 5, 9. You know what? This is wrong. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So only 8. Yeah, let's just... My deck was trying to tell me that I built the deck wrong to begin with. So thank you, deck. So what we'll do, just to kind of keep track, these used to be planes. So we're back at 17. We now have more black than white, which is probably correct and should have been done a long time ago. So let's see if that helps or hurts us, because that's what we've been losing to when we lose, other than misplays. Oof. Yikes. So I'd like to have more land than I do. That being said, we have 2 lands and 4 cards we can cast with 2. So I'm going to keep it. This is a bit risky, but 2 removal spells and a creature. And there's the 3rd land. Excuse me. We're just going to play this guy out. We have no other knights. Very rarely in this deck is it going to do more than 2 or 3. Fair enough. Again, I think we just play this out. There's nothing to pump right now. Depending what they play, we have a ton of removal waiting. So, this doesn't offer much threat, considering right now we're just attacking in the air. So I think I'd rather push the board presence. If they do something crazy, we can always remove it. So that's something crazy. That means it gets put into a casket. We're definitely not blocking that. Alright. We changed. We have more swamps in the deck than plains now. Come on, buddy. Alright, this is an obvious. Bye-bye. That's one reason enchantments aren't as great. I mean, this is a decent one. I actually prefer All That Glitters, the 2-drop in white. Especially in kind of white has a lot of like the glass casket, trap in the tower stuff. It can put that on a Gingerbrute. It can do some serious work. Alright, so we only have 1 card in our graveyard for Funeral, so it's not great. Oh, see? Some people do run at main deck. Which is interesting that, I mean, it's probably not a whole lot of targets for that, but I'm kind of surprised they use that on this. Which makes me think they're a little concerned about it. So what I'm going to do is actually offer the trade with the dummy, because we don't mind getting cards in our graveyard for the Festive Funeral, and it leaves other options for us. I don't think we forever young back anything. We could almost just cycle it. Let's, I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I think I'm going to actually just cycle Forever Young. It puts another card in the graveyard. It digs us a little bit deeper. I don't care about getting either of these creatures back, and I don't have any creatures currently in hand that I care about getting back. So I'm going to submit 0. Okay, that's a much better card for us in the hand anyway. Right now, they're on a 13 turn clock, so it's not the best way. Okay, less than 13, or more than 13, stupid food. That's okay. Yep. Surprised they did that during their turn, though. I'm almost tempted just to Reeve Soul, because I've already got 1 sitting there. And again, it makes my Festive Funeral better if they play something crazy. I mean, I just have 3 removal spells in hand, and they're going to be gaining a bunch of life. So I want to kind of change the race as much as possible. They are definitely a food deck. Got it. Alright, we just keep attacking for 1 in the air. We're sitting at 5. So there's very little that funeral won't kill. We're going to end our turn. We can always bake into pie on their turn. Again, I'm not super threatened by the witch. Okay. I mean, yes, the witch does drain 3 a turn. We could really use drawing a creature. Yep. I'm really shocked that if you're going the witch route and draining me for 3, you don't need to gain. I have no threat on the board. Like, I'm not. My 1 a turn doesn't do that. I mean, they've got the guardian that's going to smash in for 4. Well, they think it will. Obviously, going to kill it. But I think it's better to save the food to use the witch, honestly. However, I don't have a witch, so I'm going to eat my food. Okay. Stop drawing the lands. We are going to resoul the spider because it kills everything in our deck, or blocks everything in our deck. We have the funeral for whatever they play. We have 8, 7 in our graveyard now. We just need to draw something that does anything. The troll would be amazing. Even the 4-drop black white knight would be great here, just to be able to hit in and gain some life back. They still have 1 card in hand. It could be removal. The 1-drop isn't super scary. Or based on the fact that they're hovering, it could be Forever Young, which would be not super annoying. Once in future. So 3 green mana was spent. They get both those cards into their hand. So they have a witch, and they really don't like this 1-drop. That's fair. Yep. Little buddy did some work. Did a significant amount of damage. Sure. Yep. Come on, get in for 1. There you go. So we have just removal for days. It's our last baked into pie. Not going to do it. They're both instants. There's no reason to do anything right now. See what craziness they play. I would love to see the giant. I'd love to see the troll. Yeah, draw a card. They've definitely drawn a lot of cards. 4 more cards than I. Sure. I have no creatures that currently die to it. Because I don't have any creatures. Do we get rid of all of our Reeve Souls? We've got 1, 2. Yes, there's none left in the deck. Just seems like you should be tapping them to hit me for 6. Alright, something. How about a land? Nope. Alright. It's tempting. It's really tempting just to pie this because we have the Festive Funeral available. Allows us to gain 3 more life. But again, there's no reason to do it now. And I'd really rather draw the giant, wipe the board, and then save these for other crazy stuff later. Because we're not in dire needs now. It's fine. Not attacking. Super awkward. I swear this is a creature deck. We've seen 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. They're gonna get a creature back. What do you got in there? You got the Guardian or the Curious Pair. Yeah. So now I'm almost tempted to bake a witch into a pie. I think it's still worth it just to wait one more turn. Yep. So that's 3, 6, 9. Why aren't you attacking with the Death Touch guy? Like, that one extra point might actually matter. Alright, let's see. Fudge. Alright. This is just super feel-bad world. But there's a significant argument for using both removal spells right now to kill the witch. Because if they untap with them, that's 6 points of damage on their turn, just to food alone. And then they have 2 well, theoretically, 1 that attacks at 7. That takes me to 3. And then they have the next turn I'm dead, assuming I don't draw anything. So this is super feel bad. But if we don't, I think we're dead in 2 turns. It's a very dead witch. Watch, the next card we'll draw will be the giant. Which is still fine because they're going to have 2 creatures on board. But this makes it, because they have 2 1/1s, and we have this, it makes it a 6 turn clock, which gives us a lot more outs versus, you know, a 2 turn clock. Which is very scary. Although based on how they were playing, maybe they weren't going to do that. But I don't want them to see the line and just kill us. Oh my gosh. Well, we're not going to play it, because for some reason they're not attacking in with the Death Touch guy, even though I had no cards in hand. There's absolutely no reason that they shouldn't be. Oh, that's annoying. So think of something -6. So we really want to see the giant now. What am I missing that they're not attacking in with the Death Touch Knight? Oh. Oh my gosh. All right. So we have 10, 11. We only have 7 lands left in the deck. We have that Exile 3-drop or more, which would get rid of the Bognati. We really need to see our giant. That's where we're at right now. Ugh, we really need to see our giant now. I think if we don't see the giant, we're just dead. Because anything we play, they can kill with the Bognati. Again, I don't know why you're not playing this guy out. We are just dead unless they randomly don't attack properly. Which they've kind of done. Like, we should have been dead probably a turn ago. Yep, nothing we can do. Well, that was a depressing way to go out. We only had 5 lands left in the deck, and I think 20 cards left. If we had drawn the giant, I'm pretty sure we would have won that. I'm not sure we had many other outs because they had the Bognati on the field. But Not a terrible draft, not a great draft, but we broke even at 3-3, so wasn't as good as last week. But I will be back next week. We will do this again. Hopefully, open some crazy, insane mythic and pack one, or find a really fun red blue type deck that's kind of crazy. Um, the rest of this week, tune into the stream. We're all going Pioneer friendly. Unfortunately, there's no Pioneer drafts that I could do because the one on Magic Online went away, which made me kind of sad because it looked fun. So make sure you check out the rest of the stream for this week, see what's going on with Pioneer. But until then, I'll catch you next week, and we'll do another draft.